How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about PROG. Many people have been asking me, Dre, we need to get an update. We've been seeing a lot of small and mid cap stocks being beaten down, PROG being one of them. So I want to make sure I give you guys this updated video so you're prepared for this coming week. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for PROG. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $1.54, being down 6.10%. On the low, it tested $1.50, and then on the high, testing $1.63. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we ended up trading at 7.472 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 11.74 million shares. So what we noticed, we did have below average volume on the day, and we ended up witnessing a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 43.32. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So what is very clear, PROG is in a bear market, and we can see it is on a strong downtrend as of late. So if it does continue to have this pullback, we seen on the Friday it held down support at $1.50. So if this level does break, then you can see us testing around $1.45. And if $1.45 ends up breaking, then the next level you're going to want to keep an eye on will be right here around $1.35. So if you are going to be going into this play, I suggest having a stop loss. If this selling pressure ends up finishing, then we want to see a reversal move going to the 21-day EMA at $1.70. It is very doable since on the Friday, since we had some choppy markets, the high was at $1.63. So going to 170 is not too far off from the close of $1.54. We're asking for a 16-cent move here. And if we can consolidate right at $1.70, this is where I want to see us get up to the 50-day, which is right around $1.88. If you could see this chart, we tend to have resistance right at the 50-day. So that's why I'm saying it is very possible for us to do another retest, but again, have a strategy where you want to be looking to take your profits. But if we have increased volume, especially since earnings is on March the 17th, then we could break through this level. So that is something that you're going to want to keep an eye on. So now let's go into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for PROG. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at recent filings, we see here for February the 16th, we have a closed position for Manufacturers Life Insurance Company. And then we could see for the 14th, we have a lot of filings that are happening. But one thing that we could see very clearly though, institutions have been loading up, and let's focus on the ones that are the most noticeable. So we see here we have Savvy Management LLC that purchased over 1 million shares. We also have Booth Bay Fund Management that purchased 30,431 shares. And we also have Engineers Gate Management LP that purchased 67,085 shares. And as we scroll up, we see Square Point Ops LLC that purchased 36,576 shares. And we also see Two Sigma Investments LP that purchased just under 925,000 shares. And we have Alpine Global Management LLC that purchased just under 64,000 shares. And we also have Citadel Advisors, one of the most loved companies out there that purchased just under 300,000 shares. And we see 683 Capital Management LLC that purchased just under 124,000 shares. DE Shaw and Co. that purchased just under 264,000 in shares. And we have Ergatellis LLC that purchased 25,385 shares. And then we have Bluefin Capital Management that purchased 49,600 shares. And they also went in with calls and puts. And the call value of shares is 875,700. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 47.68%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 2.08 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1 million, updated 3 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 7.80%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 17th, it is at 49.88. And then for the close of the 18th being at 47.68. So one thing that is very clear, PROG does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep it close on your radar. So now let's go on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for PROG. So on the inflow, it's at 2.12, and then on the outflow, it's at 2.37. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, on the large, it was 0.33. On the medium, it was 1.20. And then on the small, it was 0.59. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.69. On the medium, it was 1.29. And then on the small, it was 0.39. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for February the 18th, for the Friday that just passed, it was negative 358,000, just over that. And then for the 17th being at just over 519,000. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, it tends to represent the retail side. We had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.56%. So this is up there, but for a penny stock like PROG, this is not too bad. Keep in mind, this stock has been beaten down for quite a bit, and now it's starting to be on an uptrend. We also been dealing with a lot of volatility in the markets, and it is being impacted by this. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for PROG, in regards to the price action, if I was going to be getting into a swing trade here, I'd want to see if support could hold up at $1.50. If it ends up breaking through that and we get a pullback going to around $1.45, $1.43, $1.44, that would be my entry. And then I'd have a stop loss right around $1.38. As far as for the move to the upside that I want to see us get to $1.70 and then getting to that 50-day where we normally have resistance, and that is set around $1.88. They do have earnings that is coming up, so that is one thing to be aware of. But with the markets and how choppy they have been, especially for small and mid-cap stocks, this is something that we cannot ignore. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions have been loading up on shares. And then when we took a look at the short interest, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why if we have more buying pressure coming into the play and it continues to respect those areas of support, especially right at $1.50, I want to see that move, because that buying volume will start coming in, because more people will be more confident to go in with a position and we can ride the momentum up. This is why you want to do your homework and do your due diligence and have a strategy if you're looking to get into this play. And when we took a look at the order flow distribution, we see, yes, there is demand in the market for shares on the retail side. Yes, we do see some institutions who are selling out, but I do see them wanting to load up, especially if conditions inside of the market improve. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs for the coming week. We'll be talking soon.